Say, that's the one I'd have picked for you myself.
How much will it be with my car?
You mean you don't want the usual day and a half to think it over?
No.
You are in a hurry. Somebody chasing you?
Of course not.
And that's a scene from a most curious film, a virtual, shot-by-shot remake of Alfred Hitchcock's classic thriller Psycho that he made in black and white in 1960. This new film, by the well-respected independent filmmaker Gus Van Sant, who directed My Own Private Idaho and Drugstore Cowboy, as well as last year's big hit, Good Will Hunting, may have been a fruitful exercise for him in film scholarship, shooting it in color, and recreating camera angles, but it plays as just weird for those who know the original. Psycho is the story of a woman from Phoenix who steals some money in order to marry her financially strapped boyfriend. On the run, she checks into a motel operated by a strange young man named Norman Bates.
You have a vacancy?
Oh, we have 12, in fact. 12 cabins, 12 vacancies. Cabin 1. It's closer in case you want anything.
That's Anne Heche in a role originally played, of course, by Janet Leigh, and Vince Vaughn, who attempts the impossible, playing the legendary role, the defining role in Anthony Perkins' career. He's simply not as creepy. Could anyone be?
I meant well.
People always mean well. It's not as if she were a maniac. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Actually, it's hard to imagine how this project could have worked. Black and white has more impact, and once you know this famous story, it's hard to be shocked as you just sit there and wait for its most famous scenes. And the psychologist's concluding explanations of Norman's behavior, it was as hard to follow now as when I first saw Psycho nearly 40 years ago. What I really feel is if you want to see Psycho, it's obvious. Rent the original.
Rent the original, you're right. And the psychiatrist's statement is a complete waste of time. That I just cut that out. Hitchcock should have never put it in. But apart from that, I know this movie will be studied for years to come by film students curious about the experiment. What would happen if another good director took somebody else's film and remade it with a different cast? But the fact is, the cast, it's just like the original Psycho is. It exists. It's a fact. It's a classic. It's
There's
a moment
nothing
in
to
time.
be improved.
There's nothing to be improved on. Vince Vaughn, you're right, is not creepy enough.
Couldn't be.
I was thinking that maybe Jeremy Davies, the guy who plays the cowardly little corporal in Saving Private Ryan, might have been good casting. Or from this very cast, Viggo Mortensen, who's supposed to play the straight arrow boyfriend, is actually creepier than Vince Vaughn.
Roger, there are just some roles that you don't attempt.
That's right.
improving.
If there's a role in all of film that you just can't duplicate, it's Norman Bates by Anthony
Everybody
Perkins.
wants to see
It's
him.
like somebody else playing Citizen Kane other than Orson Welles.
Okay.
What's the point? Okay.